Hi and welcome. My name is Assaf Dahan, Director of Threat Research at Palo Alto Cortex XDR team. Today I have the pleasure of hosting Daniel Frank, a principal researcher at the team. So thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me.
So Daniel, you recently published a new blog about the abuse of OneNote attachments. Can you tell us a little bit about that blog?
Well, yeah, so this is the research is about an ongoing phishing campaign targeting the US and Europe and delivering malicious OneNote attachments.
So before we dive into the research itself, in recent years, I think we all have heard of the abuse of malicious Office macros. It was kind of being used by every threat actor, and all of a sudden, we see that there's a shift towards abusing OneNote attachments. What can you tell us about this shift? How do we explain it?
So in early 2023, Microsoft actually blocked the execution of macros that were downloaded from the internet in their Office files. So the attackers had to adapt to new techniques, and they chose Microsoft OneNote.
Okay, that makes sense. And how does it look like from an attacker's perspective? So let's say Microsoft blocked by default the execution of macros. So how does it look when a threat actor weaponizes an attachment, a OneNote attachment?
Yeah, so an attacker's point of view, they just went to the next best thing. So once the Office door was closed, they started weaponizing OneNote files. And actually, what's even more interesting about this whole thing is that weaponizing OneNote files actually is less restrictive than weaponizing just Office files with macros, because in OneNote you can actually implement various infection chains and not be limited to just macros. You can attach any file type, and this gave the attackers much more versatility.
And what can you tell us specifically about the campaigns that you tracked? Do you know who it targeted? Do you know who was behind it? Any insights regarding that?
Yeah, well, so the phishing emails were really customized. We saw phishing emails in Italian and in German, and of course in English to target the US as well. So since Qakbot is a commodity malware, and the whole nature of this campaign was more of cybercrime nature, you can say, we cannot say exactly who is behind it, except it's probably some sort of cybercrime motivated actor, this or another.
Okay, so it could be anyone.
Yeah.
Since Qakbot is a commodity malware, it could be purchased in underground communities.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've mentioned the Qakbot Trojan. You and we've known this Trojan for quite a while now. Maybe you can inform our viewers a little bit about this Trojan and what are the risks of being infected with such Trojan.
Yeah, so as you and I know, Qakbot has been around for a while now, at least since 2007. And Qakbot actually started as a banking Trojan, but recently evolved into more of an info stealer and even a multi-purpose Trojan. So for example, it can deliver ransomware, and it was actually used in real campaigns just delivering ransomware. So it poses, you can say, multiple risks, from info stealing to delivering other payloads, and you name it. It's quite a risk.
Yes, it sure sounds like it. And what can you tell us about the protections that Cortex XDR offer in mitigating and blocking malicious OneNote attachments?
So how Cortex protects against such infections is to track down suspicious activity that's originating from applications like OneNote. And other than that, it can also track down the various infection chains, and of course to track the files, different file types involved in these infection chains. And we also have other products such as the next generation firewall, for example, that can track down the indicators of compromise, the command and control servers that are being used to download the Qakbot Trojan, for example.
So again, we have like the concept of security in layers, trying to look at different stages of the attack and detect and prevent those steps. Thank you so much, Daniel. Just before we part, are there any main takeaways you'd like our viewers to remember?
you must remember that in the attacker's point of view, once one door closes, the other one opens. And it's a good thing to have a good security service provider that is ahead of the curve. And in Cortex XDR, this is what we do. We stay on top of the threat landscape, and we're constantly monitoring emerging threats.
Thank you, Daniel. That was very illuminating. Thanks for coming. And for our viewers, if you'd like to learn more about OneNote attachments and the different campaigns associated with this threat, please visit our blog or click on the link below. Thank you.